Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds, stand by for terminal count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And you see on your screen we have had successful liftoff of Falcon 9 carrying Zuma. We have cleared the tower, so we're now coming up on 2 events that is going supersonic and max Q. Now, maximum aerodynamic pressure is when we are at the point of maximum stress on the vehicle. From that point on, we're going through thinner and thinner atmosphere, so stress will continually decrease.
Landing legs have deployed. Falcon 0, Falcon is landed. Landing after removal procedure 11.100 at RCR1 and red 2.
Minus 15 seconds.
RCT pyro.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5 seconds.
सामान प्रक्षेपण PSLV लगातार हमसे दूर जाता हुआ तार को प्रकाशित करता हुआ विस्तीर्ण अनंत आकाश की नीरवता गर्जना से चीरता हुआ लक्ष्य की ओर सतत अग्रसर भारत का ये यान घोषणा सारे विश्व के नाम भारत का निशान दूर ऐसे संदेश सुनाना चाहता हूँ सफलता के आसमान
Ignition.
10.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We have ignition of the R-68A main engine, and we have liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV rocket carrying the NROL-47 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Into the flight. R-68 chamber pressure looks good. Fuel injector pressure also looks good.
You're hearing the voice of Patrick Moore providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Burn profile on the solid rocket motors appears to be within family. Now passing 25 seconds into flight. And now 35 seconds in. Still seeing good chamber pressure and injector pressure on the RS-68. Good chamber pressure on both solid rocket motors. Now coming up on 49 seconds into the flight, Mach 1, Delta IV is now supersonic. And 55 seconds in, max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. And continuing to see good chamber pressure on the RS-68. Launch vehicle is now 8.5 miles in altitude, or 0.8 miles downrange distance, traveling at 1,400 miles per hour. 1 minute, 15 seconds into flight.
Thermal batteries activation. Solid motor flight jet ignition.
Port
製の小型レーダー衛星アスナル2を搭載したイプシロンロケット3号機は平成30年1月18日午前6時6分11秒に内之浦宇宙空間観測所から打ち上げられました。
Ipsilon 3 with Astronaut 2 on board lifted off from the Uchinoura Space Center at 6:11 a.m. January 18, 2018, Japan Standard Time.
イプシロンロケット3号機は現在初期飛行方位角を121度とし、徐々に南東方向の太平洋上へ飛行しています。
The launch vehicle is now flying over the Pacific Ocean with the angle of 121 degrees to the southeast.
打ち上げ後1分が経過しました。
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket carrying the 4th space-based infrared system for the United States Air Force. You are hearing the voice of Marty Malinowski providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Program is complete. Booster S throttled down as expected. Mach 1. Throttle back up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Ignition.
2.
Guidance is nominal.
Max dynamic pressure approaching. Max dynamic pressure.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, unité, top. Allumage moteur Vulcain. Allumage EAP, top décollage. La propulsion est nominale.
The DDO says all is normal, and you saw at 1920 local time, and right on time, Ariane 5 began her mission, lifting off from the ground here in French Guiana with a lot of fire, heading into the clouds with 2 new satellites.
La propulsion est nominale.
The two boosters are providing 90% of our thrust right now, propelling the launcher along her trajectory at an ever higher velocity.
Les paramètres de bord sont conformes à l'attendu.
773 tons at liftoff. And to get that sort of mass off the ground, you need a lot of push, and push we have. She's burning 5 tons of fuel per second, 2.5 tons per second in each booster. And the core stage is burning another 300 kilos of fuel per second. Fine shots of Ariane 5 rising into the sky. She looks just like a comet.
Nice 15 seconds. Stand by for terminal count. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
State on propulsion is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And there you saw a successful liftoff of the Falcon 9. Stage 1 propulsion all looking nominal. Beautiful clear shot of Falcon 9 ascending through the Florida sky there. About to go through supersonic. May see a sonic boom with this sort of clear sky.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Coming up shortly, we're about to enter max Q. That's the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure when the rocket is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
Vehicle has passed through max Q.
We've successfully passed through that point. That's always a major milestone in every rocket launch.
Отработала. Верхняя кабель мачта вот чуть пониже, если видите на экране.
Запуск.
Все. Пошла команда запуск.
Клубы,
Всё.
просто клубы дыма. Контакт
Команда
подъема,
подъем,
дорогие
да,
друзья.
контакт подъема прошел. Союз успешно пилотируем со стартового. Вот идет разворот.
Вот как раз тот самый разворот,
да.
о котором мы говорили с
Тот,
вами
который
сегодня.
на Байконуре мы стартовую систему разворачиваем в азимут пуска.
Да, здесь ракета Союз-2
Это Союз сама
разворачивается
отрабатывает.
сама.
Да. Очень красиво смотреть.
Абсолютно синее прозрачное небо. Мы видим сопровождение ракеты-носителя. Наверное, долгое время сможем наблюдать вот этот огонек работающих двигателей.
Но мы еще увидим на 118 секунде отведение боковых блоков. Еще будет видно. И после этого уже начнется.
Ну, она сказала, говорит, видим этот огонек. На самом деле этот огонек, в этом огоньке сосредоточены миллионы тонн лошадиных сил.
Отсюда нам кажется огонек, а на самом деле какая мощь, да?
На самом деле.
Йом. 3, 2, 1, 0, 1.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Launch director on countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, stand by for terminal count. 10, 9,
8. Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Falcon Heavy.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds if you can hear me over the cheering. Falcon Heavy heading to space on our test flight. Building on the history of Saturn V Apollo, returning pad 39A to interplanetary missions. We're getting ready to throttle down for max Q.
Vehicle is supersonic.
You've heard the call out. Vehicle is supersonic. Side boosters are now throttling back up to full
Vehicle
power.
has reached maximum dynamic pressure.
We're past max Q, the period of maximum loads on the vehicle. Next up, we'll be waiting for the side boosters to begin to throttle down prior to booster engine cutoff and separation 2.5 minutes into flight. GNC trajectory looks good on the Falcon Heavy. Reports show that the M1D engine performance is nominal.
Contact engine says begun.
Side boosters have begun to throttle down in preparation for the upcoming shutdown in 20 seconds. Major event coming up with side booster shutdown and separation.
Inside shutdown. Side boosters. Vehicle. Center. Which is halfway. South and up. S1 keeps going. Still booster baseball excited.
Successful separation. We're coming up on MECO and shutdown.
Stay set. Separation confirmed. Event recognition. This big burn looks good on side boosters. Spectrum started.
And that landing burn has started.
Stage 2, terminal guidance.
Both boosters looking to be on track towards their respective landing zones.
Landing legs have started. Side boosters landing legs have deployed.
And the Falcons have landed.
LZ1, LZ2, both side boosters have touchdown. Landing operators move on to 11.1, recovery 1 and recovery 2. Stage 2, AFS has saved.
And coming up very shortly, the Center Corps will be attempting its landing on the autonomous spaceport drone ship.
15. Falcon 9 is configured for flight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
For those of you just joining us, you are watching the Falcon 9 as it descends through the atmosphere carrying the Paz satellite to a polar sun-synchronous orbit. Right now, the rocket is approaching what we call max Q. This is the point at which the aerodynamic forces in the rocket are at the greatest. Falcon 9 actually throttles itself down as it passes through max Q and then throttles back up once we're through it.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
3、メインエンジンスタート。1、0、SRBA 点火。リフトオフ。2、3、4。2A ロケット38号機は、平成30年2月17、11午後12。
Go. T-minus 15 seconds and counting.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the Atlas V and NOAA's GOES, a highly sophisticated weather-watching eye in the sky, to join its twin in providing better forecasts and saving lives.
Atlas has begun a pitch and yaw maneuver to steer to its planned path, an azimuth of 100.7 degrees.
At 35 seconds, the rocket carrying GOES will reach Mach 1, traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Right on schedule. Signatures look good. Roll program is complete. The speed chamber pressures are rolling off as expected.
At 47 seconds after launch, the vehicle will pass through the area of maximum dynamic pressure, or max Q.
Max Q?
This is the point when mechanical stress on the rocket reaches its peak because of the rocket's velocity and the resistance created by the Earth's atmosphere.
Booster has throttled up as expected.
You are also hearing the voice of United Launch Alliance flight commentator Marty Malinowski.
SRB chamber pressures continue to look good at plateau.
At 1 minute 50 seconds into flight, the first two solid rocket boosters will be jettisoned, followed about a second and a half later by other boosters.
Falcon 9 is configured for flight.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Vehicle pitching downrange. Stable propulsion nominal.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We're just over 1 minute into flight. Falcon 9 is passing through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Vehicle is experiencing max Q.
You've heard the call out. We're now experiencing maximum dynamic pressure, where the velocity of the first stage and the density of the Earth's atmosphere combine to create the greatest loads on the rocket. We're through that period. Merlin engines have throttled back up to full power. Propulsion indicates nominal. Power and telemetry also reported nominal.
Largage du mât VKM. Allumage du tuyautage. Attention. Top 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top, décollage. Poussée nominale des premiers et deuxième étages du lanceur. Les moteurs des premiers et deuxième étages fonctionnent normalement. Bonne stabilisation du lanceur. Le vol est nominal.
Beautiful pictures there in the clear blue sky above the Guyana Space Center, over the Amazon rainforest. Soyuz blazing a trail. Range Operations Manager is telling us that everything is going according to plan, everything's nominal.
Auto sequence start. At this point, the ground propellant feed, so all the fuel flow into the rocket, has cut off. We are under 30 seconds.
Auto sequence initiated. Now we launch command issued for ignition.
And there you can see the engine starting to fire, ramping up. The second umbilical tower already separated.
Engine at
80% and liftoff. Drew Foysel, Oleg Artemiev, and Ricky Arnold taking off on their way to the International Space Station. Getting a great view of those first stage engines as they light up the night sky. That first stage delivering over 930,000 pounds of thrust.
20 seconds into flight, engines are steady.
20 seconds so far since liftoff, getting good calls that the stages are performing nominally or normally. Looking very bright here on camera. I can tell you when you see these at night, it's like looking at the sun. It almost hurts your eyes, but you can't tear your eyes away from it.
Forward, and yes, we are seeing you on camera 1 screen.
"50 seconds since liftoff, everything's still nominal or normal. Soyuz rocket doing its job, all of the parameters or the data points for its trajectory looking good, continuing to rocket across the night sky.
Minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4,
L40 ignition
plus 5 seconds.
nominal, S139 ignited, and vehicle lifts off from the launch pad.
बिल्कुल सामान प्रज्वलन और व्हीकल का प्रक्षेपण.
So vehicle liftoff normal, and performance of L40s and S139 has been indicated as normal.
First stage performance normal.
गर्जना के साथ जमीन के हरित और विशालकाय समुद्र को अलविदा कहता हुआ GSLV-F08 अपनी उस यात्रा पर निकल पड़ा है जहां से उसे गंतव्य के अंतिम चरण PSLV-XL को अंतरिक्ष में प्रक्षेपित करना है। आप अपने स्क्रीन पर बाकायदा इसके गंतव्य पथ को देख पा रहे हैं।
So 52 seconds into the flight, the vehicle has crossed the atmospheric phase, which is a very critical phase. Right now it is
Plus 1 minute.
11 kilometers. And as per the flight sequence, we will have the burnout of S-139 stage at 110 seconds when the vehicle would have reached an altitude of around 42. So at 75 seconds, performance is very normal in terms of time versus altitude and time versus velocity. So after the S-139 burnout, we will have the liquid strap-ons burning for the next 40 seconds.
Tanks, pressure flight.
15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Telemetry are nominal.
We had successful liftoff of the Falcon 9. As you saw, it's pitching downrange at the moment to continue its ascent into orbit. Going supersonic right about now. And it'll be going through max Q shortly.
Vehicle is supersonic.
So we're decreasing the engine thrust to minimize the pressures of max Q, which is the point at which the rocket is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
Vehicle is experiencing maximum dynamic pressure.
And now that we're through that milestone, we'll be increasing the thrust of the engines in order to get to orbit. But while the atmosphere is still relatively thick, we can prevent it from exerting too much pressure on the fairing by throttling the engines a little bit. We're also chilling the Merlin vacuum engine.
Vac engine chill has begun.
And that call out means that we're bringing the engines down to the correct temperatures in order to prevent the liquid oxygen from turning into a gas in the second stage as well. Coming up shortly, we have a few events in quick succession. The first stage main engines will cut off, the two stages will separate, and the second stage will begin its first burn.